Hey everybody, it's Katie. Have you just had a baby or you're about to have a baby and you're kind of thinking, where does dad fit into all of this in the early stages? Today I want to talk with you about that and share some ideas. When our two littles were born, my husband and I, we worked pretty hard to involve him in the process, even though you're dealing kind of with a bump on a log and it's kind of like, well, how much can I really do? But we worked really hard to bring him into the process, and I feel like now that our girls are 6 and 2, it was a really good plan to do that. So a little story about my husband and I in the very beginning. When both of our daughters were born, it was kind of like, well, what do I do? Because he's a big guy and there's these little tiny babies, these little 7-8 pound babies, and it's kind of like, well, I'm going to break this. Am I okay? And he didn't, especially with our first, didn't really know quite what to do. And I breastfed both of our babies, and so it was kind of like, what do I get to do? And of course, in the back of my mind, I'm like, poopy diaper, that's your detail. But I'm like, okay, be mature, Katie, be mature. So, we talked a lot about expectations and how he can successfully co-parent with me when you have an infant, because really, babies just need to have a clean diaper and something to eat and a warm place to sleep for the first few weeks or first months or so. We brought him into when he was home, because he actually worked a wonky schedule. When he was home, he was really good about changing the baby, even though I know it was not his favorite thing to do. He was really good about changing the baby and doing things like, when we got up in the morning, taking the baby so I could take a shower. Or cooking, when he made food, he would always make food for both of us, and he would hold the baby while I ate. And stuff like allowing me to have some quiet time, or if I wanted to go to the store by myself, he would bravely accept the task of, caring for this little tiny fragile baby, and I'm like, please, she's not going to break, she'll be fine. While I went to the store for a few minutes. He was really quick to be willing to help, and I keep saying help, and for lack of a better term, because it is help, but it's also, we co-parent. I'm the mom, he's the dad, he bears just as much responsibility as I do. So it was really great to have that time. Or another great thing that he used to do is when he worked nights sometimes, and so when he was getting ready to go to nights, he would stay up all night to kind of get ready for it. It was a really horrible schedule. And he would keep the baby monitor, because sometimes if you have kids or babies, every once in a while, you're lying there and you're sleeping peacefully, and then all of a sudden you hear and it's loud because you have your monitor on, and you like levitate off the bed, and you're like, oh my gosh, is the baby okay? And they're there, sound asleep, they're fine. And meanwhile, you're like, I can't get back. And then you're, half an hour later, you're still like, are they okay? Are they breathing? Oh my gosh. So he would keep the monitor so I could keep my sanity and actually get a few hours of sleep. And, if it got bad, then he would come let me know that there was a problem, or if it was time to feed or whatever. But that was another really great thing that he did. And so it just kind of bringing them into the areas that they can help with. If you're breastfeeding, can't help you there, sorry. If you're bottle feeding, great. That's another way that they can help. So I also wanted to just veer off topic and mention this awesome t-shirt that I have here. This is my California poppy shirt that I got as a gift, and it's lovely. I also chopped the neck out. Don't judge, because it was a little tight. And I have Tinkerbell earrings on today. These are for my daughters. Just thought I would let you know about my OOTD hashtag outfit of the day. When you're a mom, or at least this mom, I don't know. Anyway, back to the video. So I have a little bit more to share, but if you're finding this helpful, or if you feel like this is kind of speaking your language, or someone who this might be applicable for, I would love it if you'd consider sharing the video. That would be amazing. And also, if you're not a subscriber, I would like to formally invite you to be a subscriber. So, a little more information. I wanted to share some practical tips on what it looks like into kind of bringing dad into the fold, and how dad can help with a newborn. Because if you're anything like me, it's easy sometimes to do things all yourself, and because you have a specific way you want things done, and it's easier just to do it yourself. Believe me, that does not go away when you have a baby. At least it didn't for me. But there are lots and lots and lots of pros to bringing dad into the fold. So, some practical ways dad can help. When you have your little tiny bump on the log and you're probably still kind of sore, have them hang out with the bump on the log while you take a bath. And once you've been cleared to have a bath, go have a bath or go take a shower or go to the store. Newborns sleep a lot, and as soon as you're healed, now I'm not advocating you get out there like 2 days after you have your baby, make sure you're all healed, but when you're healed up and you're ready to kind of venture out, have dad hang out with the baby while you go. Give them a good feeding, make sure they're, comfortable, and then leave. It'll be okay. Like, maybe just go get a cup of coffee or go to the grocery store and buy your own bananas. Have them hang out with the baby, because the other thing is that's going to help them build when they're little and they're not really awake and screaming a whole lot because they're still just so tiny and new. That's going to help give dad the confidence that he needs. If your spouse is anything like Steve, when we had our firstborn, he was kind of like, am I going to break it? Is it okay? Like, I don't even know. I mean, he hadn't really held babies. He didn't know a whole lot of babies. I think most men don't really know a whole lot about babies. And so they have to build their confidence just like we do as moms. Like, nursing in public, kind of scary. How do you get better at it? You do it. You build your confidence. So leaving them alone for short periods of time while you go have a sanity break is going to be amazing for you and for them. It's going to help them with their confidence level. Another thing is having them, like I suggested earlier, having dad hold the baby while you take a shower or while you eat your food, or have them get up in the night when the baby cries. This is something that one of my best friends and her husband have done with theirs, and I think it's amazing. When the baby cries or when it's time to get up for feed, have dad get up, go get the baby changed and all ready for mom, and then bring the baby to you. You either nurse or you bottle feed, or maybe they take a feeding, and so that one wake up period is just about dad, and that's like more sleep for mom, and it's also involving them in the process, because this is kind of a weird analogy, but if you don't pay for it, you don't have a whole lot into it, right? It's like, if you're given something, you might not respect it quite as much as if you had to work blood, sweat, and tears to get it. I think that's why it's important that teenagers buy their own cars versus driving moms. Anyway, if you put some time and effort into it, there's going to be more of a feeling like you're actually in this, and it's not just, that baby over there. It's like, okay, this is my baby. And so it's helping them build their confidence, it's helping them feel involved, and it's encouraging them in their role as a father. The way I look at it, this is beneficial for 3 different people. This is beneficial for mommy, and it's because you get to have a break, and it's half you and half him. So it's like you get to have your break. It's beneficial for baby because baby is learning about mom and about dad, and it's not just mommy. You're building a relationship with both of your parents, which is harder to see when they're infants, but as they get older, and it happens really, really quick, you guys, so fast, you start to see, okay, this is where it's paying off, and start when they're young. And then lastly, it's good for dads too, because they're involved with their child, they're engaged with their child, and they're building this connection, because there's all kinds of science out there that talks about the connection that's built on eye contact, and the more that they're around them, that they're hearing their voice, and it's being wired into this baby, because basically the things that a child experiences from birth until about 5 or 6 years old, that stuff is getting hardwired into their brain, and we want mommy hardwired and we want daddy hardwired, because those are going to be the 2 most important people in their life. And I mean, even as an adult, my parents are probably right up there as some of the very most important people in my life. And that started 30-something years ago when I was a little tiny baby. You thought I was going to tell you how old I was. Nope. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you find this helpful, we'd love for you to share it. We'd love for you to join us as a subscriber. We have a Facebook page, we have a blog, and we would love it if you wanted to join us in any one of those areas. Hope you guys are having a great day. Please join us next week. We put out a video every week, so hopefully we'll see you next week for our next video. Bye!